All right, so we have the Lauf Seigla versus the Endurace AL from Canyon, and I want to put on full kits and test these out and see which one I like better. Um, Obviously different types of bikes, but I haven't really done a back-to-back on them, and this will be on the road just because I don't want to get this thing any more dirty. I'm thinking more on the Canyon side, so let's go. Taking a look at the cockpit of the Lauf Seigla. You got some carbon fiber bars and fully carbon fiber fork, or sorry, frame, and we have the SRAM Apex electronic 1x. We got a 40 tooth on the top for the chain set, or sorry, crank set, and then 11 to 44 on the rear cassette. So, and then 45 millimeter tires, so that's probably the major difference there. So gonna do maybe like a 5-mile ride and then switch off and see which one's better. All right, so first things first, I have like my mountain bike pedals on here and I'm wearing running shoes, so that's one thing to note. But in general, it seems pretty sluggish with these 45 millimeter tires on, and quite difficult to get over 20 miles an hour. So we'll see what the rest of this is like, but yeah, just in general with the wide tires, it's really comfortable. Can't really complain about that. So if you're just talking about comfort at this stage, yeah, it's very comfortable. Also, something to note is that the gears, switching using the SRAM shifters, I can't just shift with one hand here. I have to shift with both hands, which is kind of annoying, especially because it's a 1x. And front end feels very agile. Snick, snick, snick. Nice and easy. Gear shifts are really easy. Very responsive. And I also tuned it a little bit so that it's nice and easy to tune, or nice and smooth. There's really only one gear that was kind of messy, but just riding along here, we're at 16 miles an hour, and it just seems a little bit harder to get up to speed and maintain that speed, so we'll see how this goes. All right, you're now on the head cam, so currently going 17 miles an hour. Let's do a little sprint. I think we're in the fourth to last gear, so this is the second to last gear. Let's get a little nice and rigid. Pretty easy to get up in the saddle. Really need my slip-ins, but that's 23. I mean, with these tires on it, I feel like it's quite hard to spin out in this, but that's just me. And that's with these knobbly tires, so, you know, I think if we get some thinner tires, then we probably have a little bit more of a conversation in terms of spinning out, or like going down a hill. I feel like probably can spin out there too. But yeah, overall, super comfortable. Do another one here. Up in about 20. That was pretty comfortable too. Just right off the bat, no complaints off that. Like, I was just able to wear shorts and no actual bike shorts to ride this and have it feel comfortable. So it's nice that it comes with a saddle that's fairly soft. Just running over some bumps there. So some cons about this particular bike. The gearing. I think a lot of people might have an issue with the gearing, but anybody who's recreational, I don't think will have an issue with it. Or if you put like 28 mils on here, you might spin it out pretty easily. But once we switch off, that was about 4 miles, so we'll miss that bump. Just run over bumps with this thing, quite honestly. It's like a mountain bike. Seems to be very agile. No, it's a little bit higher, I think, stem-wise. But in terms of steering, I don't feel any issues. I feel like it's pretty easy to lean into anything. Shift gears, brake. The brakes are pretty good. The only thing I can complain about, when you put in your front wheel or remove your front wheel, it seems to have an issue where suddenly it starts rubbing. So I don't know if it's because of the frame and the through axle endpoint, like right over here, if that's causing the issue, or if there's some other issue that I don't know about. But as you can see here, this is the Seigla rigid, so there's no 30mm fork. So this one's more so a do-it-all if you want the frame to be super rigid and, you know, maybe put some 28s on here and go for a good fast ride. But again, a one by, so you're limited by a little bit by the gearing. So I mean, I think that's probably one of the major issues that I'm worried about as we go into a sprint. Our tape's nice. 24 miles an hour. Not spinning out, not even in the last gear, so for me at least, it seems like this one's okay. Lauf's customer service was really good, pretty responsive to the return, and yeah, they were quick on the shipment too. I was supposed to be here, bought it Monday, supposed to be there on Thursday, and it ended up getting delayed a little bit, but that's not their fault. And then showed up on Saturday, so less than a week, so like 5 days. So a pretty quick turnaround. Canyon was probably around the same, I think, overall. It's really easy to ride with no hands. The glossy carbon fiber finish, it's really nice. No complaints there. But let's switch over to the $1,100 less than this bike. This bike costs $2,900. Taxes, everything included. This one's a black one, so it's a little bit cheaper than the other colors. So that's something that was annoying, was that it only came in black and white. Overall, fairly light. This one's a just over 9 kilograms, so just right at 20 pounds. But yeah, it's supposed to have this geometry here, so it gives you a little bit more play in the seat. So this again is Physique Alanti. Yeah, all good things, I think. Not really gonna complain about much. As you said, it's got massive clearance. I think it can clear like 55mm tires. I think bigger than my mountain bike. And then you have the battery right here for the Apex. And then you have the chain cassette here. So after a few modifications, really just changing some of the gear set. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking bike, and yeah, this probably would fit all of my needs. I think it's just a little like pricey on my, like it's the cheapest wireless gear, like cheapest wireless group set that you can get with a carbon frame. So something at $2,600, $2,900 out the door, you know, it's a freaking steal. So direct to consumer, Lauf, Icelandic brand. So yeah, let's switch over and let's go on to the aluminum frame from Canyon. Yeah, the frame on this aluminum, or on this Canyon Endurace, is pretty nice. Aluminum frame, as I mentioned. This one's out the door $1,800 at the time, and I also get a $150 credit, so that would basically be to send the Lauf back. And yeah, I think this is probably going to be my next bike here. So has room for 35mm tires, and I think it has clearance for more than that too, so we'll see how this gets along. A little bit more of a clunky since I moved the seat up, it's a lot different here. So now I might have to move it up a little bit. Definitely more gearing's not as precise. Still have to work on the indexing there, but on your left. The seat's definitely firmer. Definitely can feel that, but it feels a little bit more agile. Obviously a 2x, so that's one of the major differences. I'm also clipped in, so it's a little bit easier to get up and go. Love the color. Paint's matte paint, matte finish. Going about 20 miles an hour. Definitely thinner tires, no tread in them. Definitely allows for quicker turnaround. The seat is like super sticky. Since we're on 11 to 34 with the 50 in the front, it allows us some nice wide gearing, but it's rubbing a lot in the smaller gears on the 50, which I wasn't having an issue before. So I think what I had before on was a 30, and that was really easy to index for. And now we're just not. So right now we're at around 18 miles an hour. And I think this one's just definitely more vibrations, but less rolling resistance with the slick tires and non-gravelly tires. So it's kind of hard to compare the two because of that. Simply, you're definitely going to get like the carbon seat boost is there, and we also have a carbon fork, but the rest of the body is aluminum. Wheels are aluminum, but a lot more free speed. Definitely feels faster, but I think it's mainly because of the tires, more so than anything. So one definitely feels like more of a cruiser, and the other one feels more like a more similar to a race bike kind of deal. Cruising at 18, same spot where it's kind of tough to go 18, but we're close to 19 miles an hour right now, and barely even putting up the sweat. This is kind of just like relaxed phase and just decently high RPM. We're on the 50 and got 4 more gears, so we can go 20 pretty easily here. Still got 3 more gears. Still hearing some derailleur slacks in. I I gotta play around with that. Yeah, definitely, definitely taking those bumps harder. But I can't actually switch these wheels onto those because these are Shimano 105s. So, ooh, that was felt that bump. Yep, definitely a lot more compliance in the carbon frame. And I don't know if it's just due to the, again, to the tires. You know, if I could switch them off, I'd like to compare them back to back, but sadly I just don't have the time to do that. But agility wise, and it may just be a fit thing that I need to change around a bit. That one, or yeah, it's definitely the pull up that we're able to do a little bit better. But on the Lauf, I was not worried about going into bumps or potholes, really. So we're going nice and easy. I think when we're riding the Lauf here, I was going like 17, and it was hard. So, an extra $1,100 wireless group set, one buy. But honestly, if you have one bike, like, do you even really need electronic gear set? Because it's just so easy to, like, is it really that difficult to index for that? You know what I mean? Like, indexing for one bike, you don't have to change the front derailleur. Everything's really easy. Yeah, I don't think this bike is any faster than the Lauf. I think it's really just the tires. And the seating position feels pretty similar. It's just compliance with the tires and compliance with the carbon frame. And again, I don't know how much of that is the actual frame. I imagine if we set this up tubeless on these 32 mils, you'd kind of be fine. But hard to tell, hard to know. I think I mentioned the weight. This one's 9.22 kilograms. I added some more with my flank kits. And seat is pretty rough. Not a huge fan. The Lauf seat, the physique, was definitely more comfortable. But this one's not bad. It's not too different than my other one. I can't really fathom trying to replace like a $200 derailleur versus like a $50 derailleur. Seems insane to pay for something like that. Not having to do anything with the battery charging too. Like, I already have to charge my watch. I don't have any issues with the 36 tooth front crank, but have a lot of problems with the 50 currently. I'd much rather have it be the opposite. But I think we're sticking with the Endurace and sending the Lauf packing. So there you have it for my particular needs. I think the Lauf Seigla is not for me. I don't do enough mountain or gravel riding for that to be something that I want. But for all you gravel riders out there, it's a great value, and can't really complain about it, you know? When I talk about the cost and what have you, I feel like it's just a no-brainer for me, but for you, it probably is different. I think a lot of people like wireless shifting and not having to deal with anything mechanical, not having to route any of the cables in there. And I think this will be my first bike that I'm actually routing cables, so we'll see how often I have to do it and if we'll end up making videos on it. I definitely am going to make a video on tubeless whenever these tubes go bad or get some flats. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, but I think I'm sticking with the Endurace and taking my $1,100 back, and
storing that for a rainy day. But with that said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.